All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Jenna Wood, and I am one of the dietitians here with the Giant Company. Today, for our Trending Thursdays class, we're talking all about building a better something, like how to take something you probably already eat or make, and just tweak it or just make some changes to make it a little better. We're not striving for perfection. We're looking for progress. So today we are learning to build a balanced or a better snack. Lots of different types of snacks, and we'll get into all of those. But I do actually want to start with my recipe today so that, one, I don't run out of time because I could be long-winded, right? And potentially the muffins will be done by the time class is over. So let me get to our recipe. So our recipe for today, for our snack, we are making protein-packed chocolate banana muffins, a mouthful. This is one of our Giant savory recipes. It does earn 2 guiding stars, so that's fantastic. It does have, a little bit of fiber, a little bit of protein. They're not mega protein, but they are going to pack a good punch of protein there with something that is quite low calorie. They're about 100 calories. I am going to obviously share the recipe, but what's really fun about these is they're made from black beans in addition to a flour, so they're not gluten-free, but you could find a gluten-free pancake mix to make these because you are using a pancake mix, which I've done before with muffins and they turn out great. We are doing 2 very ripe bananas, some applesauce, an egg, a little bit of vanilla extract, baking powder, and this is where you can kind of choose what you want to do. So the recipe says you can either use unsweetened cocoa powder or you can use a protein powder too. So totally up to you. I'll show you both options. And then optionally, you can add half a cup of mini chocolate chips, but I don't know in what world chocolate chips are optional. So we will be adding them. All right, I am going to stop sharing because I am just going to quickly make our recipe. So I don't have a second camera today, but our recipe is so simple. I'm going to just show you all of the ingredients. So I do already have my oven. It has preheated. And I sprayed my cupcake, muffin liner with a little bit of cooking spray. You certainly could use paper liners as well. I think I love this one because this kind of like pops up. So the muffins are so easy to get out of there. You certainly could use sugar-free chocolate chips too. We're not doing a whole lot of them. So I already did that. So our first step is actually to blend up our black beans because you don't want big chunks of black beans. So this is a 1 can, so about 15 and a half ounces. I'm doing our Nature's Promise. This is our no salt added black beans. I still gave them a rinse. If you have regular black beans, not low sodium, still give them a rinse. You can get off about 40 to 50% of that sodium just by rinsing them. So that's a great place to start. So the whole can is in here, plus 3 tablespoons of a neutral oil, whatever floats your boat. I'm doing a canola oil that I had from class on Monday, but you can do avocado. You could do like an extra light olive oil, something you just don't want to taste it. So I'm going to pop my food processor, turn it down a little, and just blend them until they are smooth. I am going to take just a spoon, push it down, make sure everything gets incorporated. You could do this in a blender, food processor. This is a Ninja, whatever you have. Do one more blend. Okay, that looks pretty good. We're going to blend it again, so I'm not super worried. Yeah, a good blender. I mean, it has so many uses, not just smoothies. So lots of uses here. So that's the beans and the oil. Next, what we're going to add, we're going to do 1 egg, whole egg in there. Let's pop that right in there. Then we are going to do you have the same blender. I love this thing. I like how it has the thing on the top. Then we're going to do, I never have bananas. I bought these over the weekend to make sure they were ripe. But let's see, we're going to do 2. And you can always, like, once they get to this ripe lace. You can pop them in the freezer. Honestly, sometimes I just pop them with the skin on, but you could, remove the skin too, and then have them in the freezer for when you need them. And this is a good option other than just making banana bread. But, these, they're not as ripe as I thought they'd be, but they are ripe. You want them to be like nice and ripe, but these work. Not a big banana fan. The smell. Don't love them, but we'll see. And I'll let you know if they still taste like banana, because that's always my worry. Oh, that one's nice and ripe. Okay, so that's the bananas, the egg, the applesauce. So I am doing, make sure you get the unsweetened applesauce. We don't need any other added sugar there. And this is going to be a half a cup. If I can get it open. All right, my half a cup measuring cup is here. So I'm just gonna eyeball it, or not. I got a spoon. A little on the thicker side. All right, half a cup. Okay, right in there, half a cup. So we got 2 different fruits in here and beans. It's crazy. Okay, and then we're gonna do a teaspoon of just a little bit of vanilla extract. Do love vanilla. That is perfect. Yes, so if you want to keep the bananas from ripening, which we want them to be super ripe for this, you can cover the top. So sometimes you'll see them in the store covered on the top. That'll prevent the gases that help them ripen. I would also, if you don't want them ripe, you would want to store them away from other fruits and vegetables, things like apples, tomatoes. Those things also give off gases that can ripen other things faster. So store them away from things if you don't want them to be ripe. Conversely, if you want them ripe, store them near it or in a bag, like a paper bag. Okay, so this is the bananas, the egg, the applesauce, and the vanilla. We're gonna combine it again. Thank you. We have very nice aprons this year. Looks good to me. Unplug this and get it out of our way. So then that's all of our wet ingredients. For our dry ingredients, I did already mix them together. So what we have here is a cup and 3/4 cup of some type of protein pancake mix. The most popular one you've probably heard of is Kodiak, and I really do love them. The issue is most of these, and this goes with any pancake mix really, is that they are quite high in sodium, but we're making almost 20 muffins. So I'm not super worried about the muffins. There are some that are higher in sodium than others. The Kodiak is actually on the lower side to compare to some of the others. So it's a tried and true. I've made muffins with it before, so that's the one I'm going with. 1 cup and 3/4 cup of the mix. Then we have 2 teaspoons of a baking powder that I added. If you are unsure if your baking powder is still good, it still works because this is going to help the muffins rise. There's some stuff in the pancake mix that'll help it too, but we need this. So what I always do is I put just like a teaspoon or less in my hand, run a little bit of cold water on that. If it doesn't start automatically bubbling, it's old, it's not going to do the job you need. Toss it, get a new one. So that's just, you want to make sure your baking powder is doing what it's supposed to. So 2 teaspoons into here. And then I believe the next ingredient is just the cocoa powder or the protein powder. If you want to just do a cocoa powder, we have a great option. What I love and people don't always realize is cocoa powder is full of fiber. And of course, all these antioxidants that are beneficial for us, but a tablespoon has 2 grams of fiber. Crazy. We're adding a 1/4 cup. I actually did opt to go for the protein powder. This is our Nature's Promise Chocolate Whey. This adds, I think, 21 grams of protein to the whole recipe. So it adds about a little over 1 gram of protein per muffin. You don't need to do it, but it is an option. The cocoa powder would be just as delicious too. So I did mix all of that together already. And then what we're just going to do is mix all of this into our wet. Let us see. All right. So yeah, we're gonna add the bean mixture and stir it until it's just combined. You don't want to overwork them because that's how you get muffins that have all like the tunnels, and they still taste fine, but sometimes the texture is not as delicious. Okay. Put all that in there. We're just gonna give it a mix. It smells like bananas. Oh my gosh, if you love chocolate banana, this is gonna be the recipe for you. I'm giving it the old college try. Okay. Couple more turns. Ooh, pumpkin would be, yeah, like shake it up and do pumpkin instead of chocolate. Or I've seen chocolate with pumpkin too. All right, that's mostly mixed. And then we're gonna add in the mini. I have some left over from another recipe. Half a cup of these. Oh, it's not very big. All right. There we go. Perfect. Give that a mix. Does look quite good. All right. Then what we're going to do, it is on the thicker side. I think that should be fine. So I'm going to add them to, add that to our muffin tins. I tend to use a 1/4 cup measure when I'm measuring them out. You can always add more, but that tends to be a good place to start. Okay. For the sake of time, I'm going to try to get these in as quickly as possible, and then we're going to chat all about snacks. Okay, the more it sits and I smell the chocolate, I smell less banana. So I'm getting a little less anxious about the banana-y taste. They do look real good. And the black beans, no one's going to know they have black beans in there. Amazing. Okay. All right. I think you could also add like a peanut butter powder. I think that would be really good in here. Because then it would be chocolate, peanut butter, banana. All that. You just have to play with some ratios. All right. We're going to pop these in a 350-degree oven, 25-ish minutes. I'm going to check on them. Okay, 350. Okay. Perfect. And there's still some batter because the recipe says it makes 18. So there is some still in here. So I will have to make another batch of them, but that's okay. All righty. Well, let us get back to our slides. Okay. Let's see. All righty. So they're in the oven. We'll hopefully check on them towards the end of class, and they might need a little bit more time, but I'll send some photos of what the muffins look like finished. And I always like to do a cross section of them too. So we will send that out. Now, why are we talking about snacks? So the first thing I always kind of like to call out, just to describe what I'm actually talking about, is the difference between a snack and a treat. What is the difference there? So when I think of snacks and when dietitians talk about snacks, we're really referring to a mini meal. So that's a good way to think about snacking too, is it's a mini meal. So it's supposed to help fuel your body and your brain throughout the day in between your bigger meals, because sometimes we go a long time without eating one of those big meals. Like if your breakfast is at 7 and your lunch isn't till noon, that is actually quite a long time to go without some sort of fuel. It doesn't have to be a huge snack, but something. Another really important piece to snacking, and not everyone needs to snack. I'm not saying it's something everyone has to do, but snacking can also really be beneficial in filling in nutrient needs and filling in missing food groups. So what I mean by that is maybe you don't get a lot of dairy foods in your meals, but you always eat a yogurt as a snack. You're getting in some calcium, some probiotics, some protein that your other meals aren't having. Or maybe you don't love fruits and veggies at your main meals. Or maybe you make a smoothie and it has fruit, but you're just not into adding veggies. Maybe you're going to make sure your snack has veggies. So that it can be really great to fill in those gaps. What it's not, and what it shouldn't be confused with, is a treat. These are more indulgent foods that typically have added sugars, fats, and salt, and we should consume them less often, right? So these are the things like the cookies, the chips, the pretzels, the crackers, all of these, maybe not crackers, there are better for you options in all of these categories, but by and large, when people think of a snack, they think of something maybe they get out of a vending machine, candy, things like that. That's a treat. Treats have a place in our diet for sure, but not as regularly as a snack. Why are treats, not always a balanced option when it comes to snacking? Lots of reasons. Now, there are no good or bad foods. Dietitians, we do not assign morality to foods because a lot of times what people then think is, oh, I ate something that's bad, like candy, cookies, whatever, I'm bad. No, foods do not have a moral value. They are just what they are. And even treats technically have nutrients in them. But we know, because we're all very smart, that there are foods we should aim to consume more or less often. Ultra processed foods, so you've probably heard about processed foods in the media. They don't do a very good job at describing them. All food, by and large, to get to you is processed in some way. Ultra processing is what we try to avoid eating all of the time, because those are the foods that tend to have a lot of simple sugars and added sugars. What happens with snacking is if we rely on these things, yes, they're going to give you a quick spike in energy, but it's often followed by a real low. So you eat it, you feel really good for like maybe 20, 30 minutes, and then you crash again. And a lot of times this is that like 3 p.m. slump people get. They'll eat, something really quick, not always balanced, and then they feel even worse after. That's often because the snack you ate was not balanced. How are we going to snack for actual energy? Now, a lot of times at that 3 p.m. slump, a lot of times what people will do is they'll drink coffee, another cup of coffee, an energy drink, something along those lines. There's nothing wrong with caffeine necessarily. It does actually work by stimulating your nervous system to make you more alert, but it's not genuine energy. We need to consume calories from macronutrients, the carbs, the proteins, and the fats, to create actual energy. Caffeine is not real energy. And of course, they get a bad rep, but carbohydrates really are our body and our brain's preferred source of energy. We utilize it most regularly, but we want to focus on those complex carbs, not the sugars and all of that. And of course, for most people, eating consistently, regularly throughout the day and not going big, long times between meals really is what helps provide that steady stream of energy so you're not experiencing real lows all the time, because that affects your mood, your productivity, your health long term. So we want, if it fits into your calories and your needs, snacking really can have quite an important place. Now, how are we going to pick snacks that fit the bill? More often, we want to be picking things that have whole grains, that have some sort of fiber. So that could be whole grains, but it could also be fruits and vegetables. This recipe has fiber from tons of things like beans, the cocoa powder, the applesauce, the bananas, all of that. Lean protein, which we'll talk about some options. And then I wrote vitamins and minerals. So what I mean by that is not taking a vitamin or mineral necessarily, but things like fruits and vegetables, the lean proteins, the dairy, all of these things that are just packed with vitamins and minerals. Less often, we want to be eating things that are super high in saturated fats, sodium, cholesterol, added sugars. Again, things that maybe aren't always the best option frequently. One thing I'd like to always point out, especially for our newer customers who maybe aren't as familiar with our Guiding Stars program, you can always just look on our products, so Giant and Martin's branded products. If they have stars, they're going to align with that. They're going to have more of the vitamins, minerals, fiber, whole grains, omega-3s, and less of the things we want to avoid. If it's not a Giant or Martin's branded product, you will see it as you see here on the price tag, or if you are on our website or in our app, you will see it designated there as well. So I really love guiding stars for that reason. It takes the guesswork out of all that. Now, what is the anatomy of a better snack? So this is actually clickable. You can click on this to find the recipe for this little oatmeal cup. But most snacks that are balanced have a balance of three components. They might not always have all three, but shooting for three is very helpful. First, they're going to have some type of complex carbohydrate. That's going to give us that sustained energy long term. That's going to be things, again, like those whole grains, fruits and vegetables, beans. It's going to have some type of protein. So that's going to be good for satiety. So keeping you actually full. You don't want to eat that snack and be hungry again immediately. You want it to be that bridge between your meals. And then protein, of course, is important for muscle maintenance. This could be things like yogurt, nuts, eggs, cheese, different things like that. And then we have healthy fats. We definitely need fat in our diet. This helps obviously with flavor. So flavor is super important when we're eating too. And also satisfaction. So it does help keep us fuller longer too. It helps us absorb certain vitamins. So that's really important too. And there are healthier options, things like avocado, certain types of dairy foods, seeds, nuts, nut butters. Great way to add fat to your snacks. And as I mentioned, we want to have a balance of these things. It really can be quite tempting and easy to just grab an apple, a cup of coffee, a granola bar by themselves. But it really is much more beneficial for you, for your energy levels, your hunger, to balance it. And so if you've seen the My Plate, which I think I have on one of the next slides, we want to try to strive for 2 of the 5 food groups. So like I have an example here, instead of just a Greek yogurt cup, maybe you're going to throw in some strawberries. So you have dairy foods from the yogurt, you have fruit, you have the strawberries, maybe you throw in a little bit of low sugar granola, you got a third food group there. That way, it's a balance of nutrients. It's quite hard to get all of the nutrients you need and have the carbs, protein, and fat from just a single food. There are some out there that have multiple. Nuts can be a great option, but it is still much better to pair them together with something else. These are some examples of combos that I came up with. I'd love to see in the chat, and I'm sure everyone would like the ideas of things you've done or pairings you also like. So some examples could be that apple with the string cheese, cucumber slices with hummus, baby carrots with maybe a homemade Greek yogurt ranch. If you like beef jerky and like sodium's not an issue for you, there are some beef jerkies out there that are better for you. Pairing that with a guacamole, that is a winning taste combo. You could do like a high protein pancake. We sell pre-made ones. Maybe you slather on a little bit of peanut butter, some sliced banana. Rice cake with almond butter. You could do a pre-made protein shake if that works for you. Maybe throw in, not inside of it, but also eat it with some sort of fruit or something else to kind of munch on too. So lots of different combo ideas here. Just again, the main idea being you want to combine the different food groups to get the various nutrients. Oh, here we go. I know some of these are pretty good. I love a good hard-boiled egg as a snack too. So maybe having that, but also doing some sliced veggies on the side too, or an apple or something, again, to just get a little bit more, because that hard-boiled egg is just going to be protein. And if you eat the yolk, a little bit of fat too, but some carbs in there would be helpful. Now, there are so many different products that we carry at Giant and Martin's to help you with your snack time cravings. So every single one of these I've linked to the page. Unfortunately, this goes to just Giant's page, but that'll help you find the name of the item on Martin's as well. I love these little roasted red pepper hummus cups. Certainly in terms of, plastic waste and doing flavors you want, you certainly could make your own hummus and put it in individual cups. That's what I do because I love making hummus. Guacamole, we have pre-sliced apples. Again, if convenience is what's standing in the way of a balanced snack, we certainly have a lot of those options. We have these pre-portioned yogurt cups. Again, if you are feeling like it, you can always buy the bigger container. It costs less per ounce and measure it out yourself. I love our, wheat thins equivalent, the baked wheat crackers. They have some good fiber there. Our granola, the protein granola, these little Colby Jack cheeses, so great with something like an apple. or carrots or whatever you like. Speaking of carrots, these are my favorite carrots to snack on. They're carrot chips. They're not a potato chip. They're just sliced like Ripple potato chips. I think they're a lot easier to chew than just baby carrots because sometimes baby carrots are quite rough. So I think these are just such a nice way to dip as well. Speaking of dips, I like using these Greek yogurt plain cups to make a homemade Greek yogurt dip. So maybe you take the little yogurt cup, so you don't always have to eat yogurt sweet. So you could use the yogurt cup and then maybe add, I would say, between a teaspoon and a tablespoon of some type of seasoning packet or chili powder or whatever you like. It could be taco mix, ranch, whatever you like. Mix that in there and use it as a dip. So easy. I am a huge fan of pistachios, so I always throw these in there. And then we do have our Giant brand protein bars. So these are so nice. I keep them in my purse, in my winter coat pocket, like I have them just in case. And again, by themselves, okay, they do fit a need. They're 190 calories, so they are on the higher calorie side for a snack for some people, but they're going to have protein, they'll have some fiber, and a little healthy fat. So they do really kind of fit the bill of all three. But some of these you would need to pair with something else. Then I do have some other non-Giant brand items here that I just also either keep on hand or wherever I'm going. The team always makes fun of me. I love chia seeds. They are such a good, they have fiber, they have protein, they have a little fat. These are really fun little, they kind of are squeezy pouches like applesauce, which I have here from Go-Go Squeeze, but they're chia and they're such delicious fruit flavors. I love them. Again, on their own, not super filling, but with something that has a little more protein, they are amazing. Vienna, these are chickpea snacks. Of course, air pop popcorn is a great option. Chomps, these are really good turkey. They're very tiny, but they pack 5 grams of protein. They're only 35 calories, and they're not low sodium, but they are lower on the sodium side. Some people love RX bars. There's other bars out there too. These are little Kodiak oatmeal cups. They're really fun. They also have pancake ones. They're a little bit higher in sugar and salt, but they're very filling, I would say. And then I love Harvest Snaps. I think they have a wasabi that is my personal favorite. But these are just some options. Oh, and the Fairlife Core Power drinks. Again, they have a place at snack time as well. And we have tons of recipes in savory that are fun snack options. I really love these rainbow roll-ups. You certainly could change them up to be whatever you'd like. We have our whipped cottage cheese toast with chia seed jam. So again, 3 food groups very easily, actually possibly more, but we have the whole grain toast. We have the cottage cheese, which would be dairy with some protein. The chia seed jam is so easy. It's berries and chia seeds. It's delicious. And if you follow us on social media, we have a video of this one right now. It comes together so fast. Blackberry jam yogurt cups. You can meal prep these as well. I would maybe wait to put the granola on top if you're going to meal prep them, but so easy. Then we have, again, so easy to combine things. So a high protein, high fiber waffle or pancake, some peanut butter, and then you can either do that chia jam as well, or this is just mashed up raspberries. Homemade, if you want to make your own of the like crispy chickpeas. And then these are delicious, the spiced oatmeal and apple bars. All really great recipes. I'll share all the links in the PDF. You just click on the picture and it'll bring you to the recipe. Of course, we have our January and February classes up. I'm going to spend a lot of time on those, but I want to check on our muffins. Let's see. Oh my gosh. They are looking pretty good. Let's see. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. This silicone thing actually stays quite cool. That's pretty surprising. Okay. I don't know if you can see. I don't think they're quite done. So I am going to pop them back in the oven. I really think they only need like another minute maximum. Maybe 2, 3, but I will share the picture. They're not quite done, so I don't want to try to cut one open. You do want to let them cool in the pan as well. But I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something about snacking and realize that snacking is not necessarily a bad thing. We just want to do it in a more balanced way. I'll see you next time.